Hey guys, welcome to the 170th C# tutorial that I'm making for the new Boston. And in this tutorial we're going to continue working on our address book project. And basically what we're going to be doing is creating a class for every person's information, and we're also going to be creating a folder and a file that will store basically all of our people in it. So first we're just going to want to create a class, so we're just going to want to right click on our form and go to View Code. And then we're just going to go down here and create a new person class. So class, person, and we're just going to basically just have a bunch of properties in here. So the first one will just be for their name, and we obviously want all these properties to be public, so we're going to say public string name, and we're going to make it so the user can both get and set it, so they can read and write it. So we're just going to say get and set in here. And we can just copy this so we don't have to write public string a whole bunch of times. So we're basically just going to have 2 or 3 other string properties. The first one will be for their email. The other one will be for their street address. And we're going to have another one for any additional nodes. So let's paste another one in there and call this additional nodes. Alright, and we're going to want to have one other property, and that will be for their birthday. So we're going to make it a date time, so public date time, and this will just be for their birthday, so birthday, and we're going to make it so that you can both read and write it, so get and set. Alright, so now that we have our person class created, we're now going to begin creating the files that all of this information will be stored in. So we're just going to go and select our form right here, go down to when the form is loading, and just double click on it. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is basically just create a folder inside of the app data folder for our program. So we're just going to say right here, so before we do that though, we're just going to want to create a new string, and this will basically just hold the path to the app data folder so we don't have to continue retrieving the directory. So I'm just going to call this path and set it equal to environment.getFolderPath, and we're just going to want to get the path of the application data folder. Alright, and then we're just going to want to create a new folder in there. So we're going to say directory.create directory, and then we can just use this path up here, so path plus and then the name of our folder, and I'm just going to call it address book, and then put a dash after it, and then my name. Alright. But we only wanted to do this if there isn't already a directory named this. So we're first going to check to see if this exists. So we're going to say, basically, if this directory doesn't already exist, then we're going to create it. So if directory.exists, and then we can just go ahead and copy this path right here. Alright, so now we'll only create this directory if it doesn't already exist. And we're going to want to do the same for the XML file inside of this folder. So we're going to say if that XML file doesn't exist, which we haven't even created it yet, so we're going to say if file.exists, and then we can just say path plus, and then this, obviously, since it's going to be stored inside of this folder, and then we're going to call this XML file just settings.xml. Alright, so if it doesn't exist, then we want to create this file, so we're just going to say file.create, and then this file right here. Alright, so let's just go ahead and test and see if this works. Just add another parenthesis there, so if I debug right here, it should have created those files. Just go in my app data, see address book Adam, and we see an XML file for our settings. Perfect. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, so see you guys.